Okay, so we're doing a rematch. I'm an E4 player, um, so he's a Sicilian. You know what? I'm just gonna take here and see what happens. So here we have. It's gonna get a little busy here. So I have my open files here, so everything is open. I have more space. So I'm not sure what my plan is right now. His pawns are probably a bit stronger than mine. I'll simply continue the development. Okay, so should I chase the bishop away? Yeah, let's do that. I don't have any pawns to take the knight away, or should I simply continue development? So f7 is protected. There's no point going here. Probably here is a better move. I don't think he'll castle queenside, so perhaps I should start launching some sort of an attack on the king side. I could always castle queenside, but I don't like this open file here, so perhaps just secure the position king side and attack with the minor pieces instead of a pawn rush. So that bishop does bother me. So I'm waiting for him to cast. So this, I think, is if he is intending to castle kingside, the knight here is not that strong. It would be better here to defend the pawns here. So I have an idea here. We'll probably castle kingside and hold and attack his kingside, because that knight is not that strong. So let's do that. Okay, so he's opening the center. Should I simply push? So you know what? I like the center being opened. So I'm okay with exchanging there. So he takes back, and I'm probably going to improve my pieces. So by going bishop here, I'm opening this square for the knight to relocate towards the king side. His knight is not really defending. I don't even know if he's going to castle, but if he does, then I have an idea to attack king side. The pin here is not very comfortable. I should perhaps go king to h1 eventually. If there's no threat yet, though, the only minor piece that's anywhere near starting an attack is the bishop. So if maybe the queen goes here later, I would move. Okay, so he's doing a pawn storm, and what would happen if I check here? Yeah, so my bishop is not very well placed. If I retreat knight here, he pushes. So where does the bishop go? So it can check, and I'll probably exchange bishops unless he goes here, and then I can move the pawn up. So if he doesn't attack the bishop yet, I'll probably move this pawn to make an exit for the bishop. And if he doesn't attack the pawn, then I can relocate the knight, and I always have this check, and then I'll eventually exchange. So he is attacking, so I'll probably exchange so I don't lose too much time. And unless I protect with the pawn, or if I protect with this pawn, no. So I'll protect with the pawn so that I can hopefully open up some lines for the my rook. Okay, so attack. So let's perhaps sacrifice a pawn. I'm just experimenting here. So if he takes, then I will attack with tempo and opening up the diagonals for the bishop here. So I'm sacrificing a pawn, and see what that leads to. So he didn't take. So he's attacking h2. So should I pin the knight here? Okay, so here, let's, so I'm short on time, so I have to be careful. So I'll pin the knight. I don't know if he's gonna weaken the light squares, and then as long as that bishop is still alive, that should be okay. So if later I move the knight, I have an escape square for the bishop, unless he exchanges. So by having a bishop here, I'm putting pressure, and so I think that was a good move to get rid of that light square bishop. But I was thinking of exerting a bit of pressure here, and hopefully induce him to make some pawn moves to weaken the squares around the king. Now the light squared bishop is gone, I think it's okay for him to move this pawn here to kick away the bishop. The light squares are not weak. Well, I have nothing to attack the light squares, so it should be okay for him. So here I have the idea of perhaps doing a rook lift later on and exerting a lot of pressure on the in front of the king. If he takes here, yeah, so that's fine. So should I stick around? So let's see if he's gonna chase my bishop around. If he doesn't, I'm thinking of doing my rook lift. So that's fine. So material is important. And by taking that pawn, he's prevented me from doing my rook lift. I can still attack with tempo and do it this way. I'm thinking of doing that. Now the dark squared bishop is not threatening here, so advancing the knight is also an option. So I like the rook lift idea, so let's do that. He can probably exert a little bit of pressure on that f2 pawn there. This pawn is a potential target if I can somehow gang up on it, because I have so much space. I perhaps put the knight here, put pressure on it. I have my queen maybe going up and then doubling with the rook once that bishop leaves. So I'm going to do my rook lift. So the rook would be comfortable up here. So I don't really care about my pawns over here. I'm trying to put pressure on the king side at this point. Okay, so the bishop is trapped. So that's okay. I think my bishop is not very active at this point. And so what can he do here? So if he takes, I'll probably finish my rook lift. So that works out for me. And then relocate the knight, put pressure on the d-pawn. Try to activate the other rook. Perhaps get my king out of that pin. Okay, so he's protecting the... So he put his rook here. So perhaps it's an opportunity for me. He's probably planning to push here. And so I don't... So that bishop is not doing much, so I might as well... So there's a lot of pressure here, so the next move would probably to push here. Or should I retreat the bishop here? And okay, so I'll do that. Because if he pushes, I can simply take. I have 1, 2, 3 defenders. He has 1, 2, 3 attackers. So it's even. So if he pushes and I take, he takes, I take, he takes, I take, he would be up the exchange, right? So and also I don't have to take until the end, right? So if he advances, I take with the pawn. He's probably looking to fork the queen and the rook here. So if he does that, then I take with the bishop, and if he takes with the bishop, it's a simple check, and I just run the king, so I don't have to take and lose the exchange. So I'm okay. So that works out for me, and it's fine. He's overextending the king side. So well, unless he runs over my king here, if I can somehow counterattack and perhaps undermine the pawns from the back. So this is a backwards pawn. This as well. So these two are weaknesses that I can perhaps attack. This is my weakness. I don't really care about that pawn. So now I have to either defend his pawn storm or find a way to create some counterplay. Now, if he advances, I can simply move up as well. I don't have to take, right? So that keeps that file open, and it breaks the pin on my king. So that's fine. So okay, so he's decided to pawn storm. Should I move my king here? So that's a wasted temple. So if I can somehow find a way to go behind the pawns through the diagonal. So one way could be through here. And you would simply protect with the other rook. The other way is to perhaps... So maybe now I should gang up on that pawn. So I'm unable to do that with the knight. So unless I use the other rook here, then I can move the knight here. And if he moves this pawn, I can take this pawn. So So this is a X-ray on this pawn, and I'm thinking of attacking this one next with the knight here. So I'm short on time here, so it's getting tight. So I'm attacking this pawn. He could protect with perhaps putting more pieces into the action, but if he advances, I'll take the other pawn because the rook is attacking there. Now I do have an opening for the queen, so that helps. The rook lift is still a threat if he overextends the pawns too much. Okay. My knight is ready to sacrifice here to open the diagonal here. So he's offering an exchange of queens. No, so I'll decline. So there's a pin here, right? So this pawn is a target. So here I also have an outpost for the knight, so that the pawn there cannot move. So if my knight goes here, it cannot take, and it's just bringing more piece into the so my next move is here with the knight, so I'm okay. If I take, he takes. If I take, okay, how am I doing on time here? So I don't have to take. So I do have that outpost there. So now that dark square bishop is totally inactive, I've weakened this area here, so that's fine. So is my queen trapped at this point? There's one move here. There's no choice. It's okay now. I should simply open up the position at this point. The king is vulnerable. No, that's not good. So I'm short on time, so I just simply have to do something, right? Just putting a bit of pressure there. So he's blocked off the queen, which is fine. So there's a lot of pressure on that pawn here, so I only have 12 seconds, so I have to start thinking fast. Great, he trapped the queen. So if he... yeah, I'm in trouble. So if he takes, I take back the queen. Not the end of the world. My pawn are messed up. Yeah, as if that's gonna do anything. It's just time pressure at this point. Take that. It's over. So anyways, right in front of his king. Okay, so it's checkmate. Okay, good game, Eric.